All right, good morning, guys. I wanted to come and have a quick discussion with y'all, and I don't know, this should be quick. Ever since I did those Sabbath dolls, I have just been making so many powerful discoveries and realizations, honestly. And it got to the point where it all made sense. Like, for example, becoming homeless because of a series of events that happened due to a raccoon in the attic and just everything else that was going on. But then, after having that experience, still being isolated, feeling hated and judged for things that I could not help. And then there was even a few times I was kind of treated and talked to like I was a drug addict. Like that was really weird. It let me know that those karmic experience, like that karmic energy is so powerful to where it affects in so many ways. So what I wanted to come and talk to you guys about is those of you that are going through negative karmic experience because of drugs, and not because of your drug use, but because of your parents or either other people's drug use. Drugs are bad. Drugs are bad. Probably like every 9 or 10 years or so throughout my life since I was a kid, I would I would discover certain things, and I would notice how it would affect how I was treated. So, first of all, the thing of it is about drugs is that they are connected to spirits and certain intentions. And drugs, in particular, especially crack cocaine, is extremely ruthless because those particular spirits of those particular drugs not only wants the person that's doing the drugs, but the whole family. It takes and takes and takes and takes. So basically, with our timeline cleanses, I want, when I'm speaking to y'all about this stuff, because there's certain things that will come up in your readings that let me know, especially when I'm looking at your timeline and your bloodline. And if the devil card comes up, or temperance comes up, or the death card comes up, what I can tell is that there was some kind of drug use. And I would always say growing up that drugs took my life. I've never done drugs in my life ever, ever. But my entire life, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why that happens. And it's really nothing that we can do about it except do something about it. But let's say your father did drugs or your mother did drugs. You're going to be stigmatized in some kind of way depending on how they handled that situation. It depends on how they handled it. So, for example, first of all, when people do drugs, when people do crack cocaine or other heavy drugs, what happens is that shadow portals begin to open. Okay. And those shadow portals come through the consciousness of that person. And if that is your father or your mother or a caregiver, that is going to automatically affect and afflict you. It does. Trust me, I grew up. My father smoked marijuana, but he also smoked crack cocaine. And it's something for years, and it's still like a ghost. Like whatever entities was coming in through that use kept plaguing my life over and over again, like various areas of my life. And my father tried, like he did the best he could. He sat down with me and he had hours of discussion with me to not do drugs, and I didn't. Marijuana, yes, but marijuana is very different from crack cocaine. It is. It's very different. The intention is very different than crack cocaine. Crack cocaine was created and put into the communities with an intention of destruction. That's all it does, is it causes destruction. That's it. It is going to affect the lives of the family and the children if the father or the mother or the grandmother possibly is doing drugs. And there's not only it's these entities that come up, and even it's a curse, and it's a curse that you can continue to suffer from your whole life, which is why generations of people have been afflicted by that. Generations. Drugs are so powerful. Crack cocaine is such a powerful drug that your neighbors being on crack cocaine can sometimes affect you. So that's how powerful it is. Okay, so what my spirit guides are telling me is that crack cocaine is equivalent to a void. It's equivalent to a void, and it's the formula that of which it is cooked up. And so it's really bad. It is. It's bad. And so I just remember throughout the years, and of course I'm black, so black people sometimes have no filter and they have no coof. And I'm just and I, I'm not gonna say that white folks can't be ghetto, so let me quit. But I remember growing up, my own family members on my father's side of the family would call me a crack baby. My mother never smoked crack. My father did, but because he did it for some reason, like I would get teased. I've never done drugs in my life. I wouldn't even, you know, looking at my father on that drug let me know that I would never want to try that drug anyway. But it's not like you can't just assume, and people do that. You can't just assume that the children are going to do the same thing. And I never did. I did smoke weed from a young age, but never have done any hard drugs ever. And so it's made it harder. Like literally, I've sat here and cried and prayed to my spirits to help me and my family, because I don't want me and my kids to die. You know what I'm saying? And just just seeing how isolated we've been, how cold some people have been towards us when we haven't done anything wrong. Like, and that's pretty much the status quo these days of people attempting to put their negative karma on people. Um, and it's crazy, and that's one of the reasons why, like, unless I'm making offerings, I won't even have any wine, because basically what your parents did, right? It's almost like Nightmare on Elm Street. Remember in Nightmare on Elm Street when, like, in part one, they explained the whole story. Um, Apparently, Freddy Krueger was doing bad things. And so the parents of the Elm Street kids pretty much poured gasoline on him and set him on fire and killed him. So Freddy Krueger came back and got vengeance on the kids and the parents. Like, if y'all ain't never like really tripped off of the original part one of Nightmare on Elm Street, it is a trip. Because the mother in that movie is like, finally when she explains to her, like, and of course it's just a scary movie, but it's the same thing. It's kind of like what our parents did in the past is affecting us today, and that is a fact. Parents that made mistakes don't want to admit to that. But if you're in a well grounded and well rounded household, the parents are going to take responsibility. Like for me as a mother and a grandmother, I even take responsibility and accountability for what my father did, and I do something about it. It just is what it is. So basically, what your parents did was, instead of knowing what they were actually opening you up to. So you can't tell me that I'm not correct about this. You can't. You can't. I know I'm 1,000,000% correct. Because anytime a person that has never done drugs is being treated like a drug addict, that's a sign right there. It's like, what, like, why am I being treated like I'm this pathetic person, or like I did something? It is because of, and your enemies will do that to you too, but they can't do that. Once you've done the work, they can't do that no more. And enemies will try to do that. They will continuously try to keep you stuck in the past and try to bring up the stigmatization of drug use of your parents if they know about it. That's a fact. I don't come in like as an enemy. I come in peace all the time. And I'm just telling y'all the truth, especially if you have never done drugs. If you did follow your parents' footsteps and did drugs, there are probably portals and shadow entities that you need to banish. That work needs to be done. That's what I'll be talking about with that work. Because and the portals that you open in your reality, in your universe, right? Those portals get opened through your mind. Whatever it is that you took into your body is being opened. And the only way to really deal with that is to, number one, banish all those negative spirits that situation was connected to. Sometimes it may take a few years to do it, right? Um, it took me 3 years to do it previously. And then I had to do it again. But I had to do it again and I had to secure it, not just burn the candle. I had to do something else. Because when I started my company, Divine Services, it took 3 years to get off the ground. During those 3 years, I was working out my ancestral trauma of what my father and just everything that he did to open us up to this destruction. Nobody has to be angry. I'm not even angry at my father. I love my father very much, but it's just the truth. When you do drugs like that, you are literally opening up your family and your loved ones to self destruction. It is awful. And you can't sit up here and be in denial about it. If you've made a mistake as a parent, just apologize and make up for it. Drugs is a very serious thing. So basically, it took me 3 years to get it off the ground. Um, and then I started making six figures because I that whole time, that 3 years, I was doing the work and I was doing spiritual work. I was not doing anything that involved the church at all, except for maybe Jesus coming in and out every now and then, because Jesus kind of like, he always running up behind me for some reason. But he's all right. I really honestly don't have anything against Jesus Christ. I don't. But anyway, I worked with Lord Ganesha and Lakshmi a lot. So, they helped me a lot, as well as Kali Ma, because they're pretty neutral. And so anyway, but basically, what your parents did was they added insult to injury and they started going to church after they got over the addiction. I'm not demonizing church or religion. I'm just saying it did not help, it made it worse. And the reason why it made it worse on you is because when it comes to religion, and you know what? Somebody was mentioning earlier to me that I needed to practice hoodoo. And hoodoo to me is a undoing of things that afflicted us. So for example, it says in the Bible that the children suffer the sins of the father, doesn't it? It says it. So whatever sins of your father, whatever they did, which sin is not just the seven deadly sins. Sin is not just the 10 commandments. Sin is their activities, which includes the drugs and the alcohol that they do. So basically, what they did was when they went to church, they were not practicing hoodoo. They were just being Christian. And what they had to do was they had to conform. Okay, you know what? I did that. I want to get off. I want my life to get better. But guess what? My kids are going to suffer. So that's why you struggled. That's why you struggled. No matter what it was that you did, you tried so hard. And you wasn't on drugs. You just tried. You just was trying. And you just felt like you couldn't get nowhere. I know what I'm talking about because I've been through it. Shit, I be knowing. Even though you straight laced, you still struggled because of that. And it's not that you have to be angry at your parents. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to curse them. It's called transmutation. You can transmute the negative to positive. Even if a lot of people think that death is the end. No, death is not the end. When my father died, I had to do ritual, which I'm just now doing, waiting for the results. I had to do ritual because my father's past life was affecting me. He's my father. I look just like him. So that can't be denied. And my mama, if she said, my mama wasn't a skank. So, that's my dad. Some of y'all don't even know your dad. You need to find out about your dad because all of them accepted that religion. Now, see, there are a lot of people that they just doing things just to do it. Religion is very real. It is. Those spirits and all of that stuff is very real. There's a lot of people, they don't actually believe it. They don't actually believe in God. God is real. The God of the Bible is real. Do I worship the God of the Bible? Not necessarily. But when they went to the church, basically what they did was they sacrificed you. It was a contract when they gave, because, and it just is what it is. Okay. So going back to what we were talking about earlier about hoodoo. Hoodoo to me is more so a counteraction. It's not going along with or conforming. It's a counteraction of those things because that's not fair. That's not fair if you made good decisions in your life. If you was, a person that didn't do those things, that's just like if your father was a child molester or something. Why should you have to suffer because of what they did? That doesn't mean you're the same thing. That doesn't mean that that is the truth. And you know what? Especially when it comes to Black communities, that's something that we don't want to accept. A lot of the Black community is messed up, and it is because they accept all of the negativity and they believe that the struggle is their strength. It's not. It's not your strength. It's misery. It's misery. is what it is, and you don't have to live like that. So I don't, I'm not here to, like, people that come to me, they come to me because they want to. So I'm not trying to be no damn, no, because what I'm telling you is the truth. Karma is real, even if you deny it. Now, if you want to, I can imagine that there are people that probably shut down karma. Yeah, maybe you do. But I think that it's better and it's quicker to just work through the issue. Why not? If you can do something very, very fast that will start to benefit you and then you can rebuild, why not? Why avoid it? Because it seems to be a superpower that has more power than your ability to be in denial. So basically, like I said, it would make no sense whatsoever. I mean, listen, when I came on here and I discussed my father and his addiction, right? He may have gotten mad about that. I don't know. But and my adversaries, they kind of ran around and tried to make it, tried to make me feel bad for what somebody else did. But then what if you are experiencing the negative karma of someone else? This is where possibly spiritual work or prayer is being used for you to be the sacrifice. And I refuse to be the sacrifice. I'm not going to do that. I'd rather call the Beelzebub and Legion. I'd rather call the Leviathan before I be a sacrifice. For what? Nobody's ever going to say to me, oh, well, you're so ugly, you should just kill yourself. That's a part of the game. That's a part of the game. A part of the game is to make you feel low so that you can be a willing sacrifice. Please don't fall for that. Fight for your life. It's nothing wrong with it. Who cares? You can have a whole million man march against you. Those are agents of the matrix that you were stuck in. You understand what I'm saying? Don't ever let them get to you. Create your own agents. It's a fact. Okay. So, some people are not doing things like that out of necessity. Some people are doing it out of pure evil, hatred, and jealousy. Um, what happens is that when things have happened to you, traumas, your parent being on drug is a trauma, it's a weakness. You have lost consistently throughout years. I remember for some reason for years, like it, like anything nice that I bought would just get tore up. Anything, it just would get tore up. It's crazy. But anything that happened to you in your past weakened you. It weakened you. Your resolve. So that's why it's important to go back and make those things right. That's why it's important. That's actually what I do with my cleanses. I just didn't know it until spirit kind of broke it down to me. Like the past 3 years, regardless, the one thing about me is that I'm always studying and I'm always communing with my spirits. And they have been teaching me about alchemy as well as quantum physics and stuff. I've been learning that through Lilith and Hecate and the underworld. That's what they're supposed to be teaching you. If all you're getting from the underworld is death and destruction and evil, then they must not think much of you. They don't think much of you then. If that's all you getting, if they not actually teaching you something powerful and that's all you getting, they don't think much of you. They don't think you're worthy, apparently. I don't know. Is it, because some people that connect with the underworld, they connect with only, ooh, I want to do something evil. That's it. When a lot of us that learned from spirit, we learned things that were actually useful and valuable, even though the chaos has tried to cause us to not be able to think straight. We were still able to. We were still able to get all of that information that spirit wanted us to know. And I'm one of them. They taught me a lot. That's why they kept me in that house for an extra year, because they wanted to sit down and talk. They wanted to let me know what was going on. Because if you think that you're going to walk this walk of this lifetime with just religion alone, that's why so many people get lost. You're not going to be able to do it. Even Jesus Christ told us to evolve or die. So that's just all it is to it. So, and yeah, I think that crack cocaine was what it was like invented in the 80s or something like that. Like, okay, I love Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, I love Jesus, but let's keep it a buck. There was no crack cocaine back during Jesus's time. They didn't have the issues that we have these days. So that's why those religions are not that's one of the reasons why even religious people come to witches to get spiritual work, because even back then people still did it. So, because the wisdom that I know, it existed back then from the dawn of time. So, I'm just saying. Um, when your parent did that drug, their soul was gone. It was gone. Okay. Crack cocaine, heroin, things of that nature, methamphetamine, it takes the soul. So imagine how your life would be had they not did those drugs. It would be better. It would. Because your parent would have had their soul completely. They were fragmented. There was fragments of the soul that was lost, if not the whole thing. So basically something took something from you, kept taking it from you. You can take that back. You have to take that back. You have to take it back. And so that's just like, guys, with my Sabbath dolls. That's why I wanted y'all to contact me about that. They're extremely useful, I believe. Um, especially when it comes to your development, your spiritual development. And especially with reclaiming your power. I went back 48 years for 48 years of my witches Sabbaths. I did, because I'm 48. So, that's why we call it a revival. That's why we call it a reconciliation, because you're going to need that, because the powers that are against us are very, very destructive. The drug world, very destructive. Very. It's awful. And some of you guys have been put into positions to where you don't have a strong provider in your life. You don't have that. A lot of, especially you women, a lot of you women had drug addicts as fathers, and all you do is suffer. All you do is struggle. And not only that, you became stigmatized and got hit with the evil eye. Now everybody hates you. Nobody respects you. They don't even care. And you see it, you feel it. That's why people will, let's see, now I'm about to toot my own horn. That's why my clients, when they come to me, they will always love me, because I'm one of the few people in their life that actually listened to them and gave a fuck about them when everybody else just dismissed them and dissed them. Why was that happening? There are people that are like literally traumatized because of it, because there's certain things that led to isolation. and loneliness and nobody cared. You never really had any real friends in your life. You never really had anybody that gave a fuck. And there may have been a few people that, while whatever it was you was going through when you were, I know that for me, my savior was my grandmother. My grandmother, honestly, I can say that that's why I always commune with her spirit, because when me and my mother left my father, and like that day is so in my memory. It's so like literally him running behind the car, crying, saying, "Please don't leave me, Sherry. Please don't leave me here by myself. Please don't." That was like one of the most traumatizing events of my life. She didn't have a choice but to leave him because he was doing drugs. She did it for her daughter, and she did it for herself. And then after that, we went to live with my grandmother. Okay. My family actually kind of been under attack since then, too. So that's one of the reasons why I be trying to help the family, because I think that my father blames my mother for a lot of stuff. It's not her fault. That was never her fault. That was never my grandmother's fault. My mother got tired of being married to a man that was on drugs, and she left, and her life was great. Her life was amazing since then. She bought and owned 4 houses, made a lot of money, made a lot of accomplishments, had beautiful grandchildren that I know my mother loved, and she had a full life, even though what's sad for us is that she didn't see us the last 6 years of her life. You know, um, that was really sad. But, that happened for a reason. But, so when my grandmother was the one that saved us from that, because there was a few times right before we left, because the neighborhood that we lived in, which was my grandpa Nate's old house, the neighborhood had gotten kind of bad. And I never forget, we left like shortly after. um I was laying in there asleep, and all of a sudden I see all these lights, and the cops was actually next door busting a drug house. And it was really scary because it was yelling and screaming, and it was gunshots, and it was horrible. So that's why when certain things arise, I am more than understanding. Like, like these people, like I was talking about, that be calling the police and stuff. There's certain things that people have been through, that they see certain stuff and it triggers them, and they don't want that trigger. They just want some peace. And everybody has the right to heal. Even I do. People want to stop me from healing. People want to stop me from healing others. People, and I heal very fast. Like, it literally, like, I do what's called rapid healing now. It's gotten intensified as far as with healing. But you got to learn how to fix it. You cannot keep attacking people. Stop it, because I'll stop you. Trust me, I will. I'll stop you. So it just is what it is. But that drug world is so evil. It is drugs. Look, money ain't the root of all evil. Drugs is the root of all evil. The drug world is the root of all evil. This is the reason why, even though my father, that stuff took his life, it did. It took our lives too. But he always was. I didn't never hang around with people that dealt in drugs. Those are some very dangerous, diabolical people. No, not never in my whole life. Marijuana, yes. Hard drugs, no, thank you. And now they're saying that they're lacing marijuana with hard drugs, it's like, oh my God, like, so you got to be careful where you get your bud from. That's why I can't wait till I get back home because it's legal there for recreational use. So, I would rather have the purest form of marijuana. I don't want nothing extra added because when you do extra drugs, you are literally opening up pathways and doorways to malevolent and malignant spirits. And I kind of think it may be connected with some real destructive aliens. You know how they say beaming up to Scotty? Well, I don't trust Scotty. Scotty don't seem right to me. So, and you have to fix it. That's all you can do is fix it. The way people are doing it, it ain't gonna never happen. You ain't gonna, all the things that you want. You want a mansion. You want, you hell, you may want some simple stuff. Like right now, I'm gonna order me some Dollar Tree stuff from Dollar Tree. I'm gonna order some macaroni and cheese and some wieners. I'm like, you may just want something simple. Like I love struggle meals, hot dogs and fucking pork and beans sometimes. That shit is comforting, especially when you need to have some kind of nostalgia or sustenance. And, maybe you waiting to get paid or something. Hell, it get you some of them Vienna sausages. And I saw Josh and Mom's made that. And I'm going to make it because I think I like Vienna sausages and hot dogs and stuff and Polish sausages too. But, you know, yeah. So I ain't got no problem with it. But then again, I would like to have some big juicy brisket. Okay. Stefan, I was telling somebody yesterday, I was like, I need some brisket. Ooh, goodness gracious. But that a lot of people don't realize, getting back to what I was talking about, those spirits that are being caught, it's not that you're blaming them. You're not blaming them, but let's face the music. I used to, as a kid, I would try to be normal. I would, and you know what? Bad spirits would just mess with me sometimes. That was coming from my father. In 1997, when my father joined the Christian church, it got worse. Did me no good because now I'm suffering the sins of my father. That's why I don't really like religion. But religion is telling the truth. Do I think that God just forces you to suffer the sins of your father? No, it just happens. It happens because of spirit. So when certain drugs and then even sometimes when liquor is being poured, which is why, I mean, if you do some crack, you just going to deal with it, okay? But the alcohol has been legalized for years. Clean out your alcohol, clarify it of bad spirits. What is it, laziness? Take a freaking incense stick, and when you stock your liquor cabinet, just clear away all those bad spirits. Just say, I consecrate this liquor. I consecrate it with to clear away any and all bad spirits that may hurt me, that may hurt my loved ones, that may hurt others. I know there's some people that, they're thinking, well, I like being bad. I like hurting people. I like doing that. But you know what? You got to come up out of that. You got to come up out of that. You just, some of these adults running around here, they just like little kids that, want to set a puppy on fire or something. You got to get up out of that because you know what? Your kids are going to suffer the sins of their father because it's called karma. You cannot, and you can't put it off on somebody else. I'm tired of people doing that. That's the basis of this Maybon group that I'm doing. And we just going to get a whole bunch of salt. We're going to have so much damn salt. We're going to have rock salt. sea salt, kosher salt. We just gonna have big salted jars of salt water. Okay, is what spirit wants me to get together. So y'all will see it once I start doing the work. Y'all just need to go ahead and join, and I've got a couple of people that are coming in, and so we gonna get that popping. It's time for it to be done because I think what we've done is we face the worst evil. I do, and I think that now we just dealing with kind of like the scragglers, the scraggly energy and bad spirits. Because we actually defeated that damn demon of narcissism a long time ago. It's just that some people still got the habit. Being narcissistic is a bad habit. It's a bad habit that comes out of trauma. Trauma wants you to disconnect. I get it. It's a survival instinct. You have to disconnect emotionally and look out for self. But you know what? It when it's time to live and actually live, because you ain't been living. Okay? You haven't. That's not been life. At constant war every day, that's not life. Take it from somebody that lived. That's why I will always be appreciative of my mother, Sherry Lynn Briscoe, my grandmother, Lena Louise Eloise Briscoe, and Ernestine. Ernestine, her last name wasn't Briscoe, it was Boston, and then it got changed when she got married. My auntie Ernestine, and then there's Forstein, okay? Which my grandmother and her two sisters, they were the triple goddess. They were the sisters because it was three of them, okay? I will always be appreciative to them because growing up, I'm gonna tell you something. It was a dream. It was wonderful. Every now and then, my my cousins or whatever would bully me or whatever. But as far as like a bunch of trauma, never. Them ladies kept us protected, and it was happy. I remember when my mother was alive, man, it was just so happy. Now, every now and then, my mother would drink her beer and she would become possessed. My mother would become possessed. But back then, when I was like 19, 18, or 20, I didn't know how to help my mother. I didn't know what to do. I wish that I knew what to do sooner, but it is what it is. Okay. And so it was a couple of times where some things happened. One time when my mother put me and the kids out, literally for nothing. Literally nothing happened. It was spiritual attacks that was coming in for various reasons that I'm not going to get into. But we were fine. That was actually before my father died too. So it was a lot. Now my parents are kind of together. My mother kind of, when I see my parents in spirit in the afterlife, my mother lives in this big mansion that's just filled with like peach and hardwood floors and peach. I don't know why I see hardwood floors, but then also these glittery, like light pale peach everything. And she's just like, happy. And my father, she lets him in every once in a while. He's typically outside the door knocking, is my father, because she's still angry at him about some things. So he can't always be in there, but I see him outside her door knocking. They're both younger. They're both in their younger form. They're not old at all. Both of them look like they look when they were younger. And I'll be telling them, I'll be like, well, y'all straighten this out. Because my parents really loved each other. Like they were high school sweethearts. They went to debutante balls together and everything. Okay. So, my father really loved my mother. She was really, really, my mother was just always very pretty, just extremely beautiful, extremely. Like, I'm not kidding. And when she got into that car accident and almost died, she had to get a lot of plastic surgery on her face. And it was very traumatizing. So, the family went through a lot with that. I personally would tell my mother all the time, like I always felt like my mother was gorgeous. And I was like, well, I'm just glad you're here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So anyway, but you have to deal with it. You cannot keep, listen, when somebody is raging against you, especially out of the blue, okay, it could possibly be the workings of black magic. However, the reason why black magic is able to afflict you to begin with is because you have not dealt with those weaknesses, those holes, those cracks. The moment you seal it up, you seal it, you take back your power, because whatever drug dealer that was selling dope to your parents or whatever, they probably long gone dead in jail. At the same time, the family of whoever the drug dealers is, they need to protect themselves. Okay? Or if it was your father that was selling and doing dope, and maybe years later, somebody did some stuff that may have changed the space-time continuum, and the next thing you know, that somebody done switched timelines, and now you ain't even got nothing to do with that lifestyle, or maybe you do, and then calamities is happening. Okay. I look just like my mama. Okay, Philly hood gone somewhere. You know what I'm saying? He said your mama was pretty, but what happened to you? Um, you looked at me. That's what happened to me. The fact that you looked at me. Why are you even looking at me to begin with? You shouldn't be looking at me. I'm sure that you, through your eyes, I'm very ugly, but I'm good with the way that I look. Thank you. Okay. Bye. Y'all pay no attention to those people. All black women are ugly to those men in that black sector. They're all ugly. They're all ugly. They don't like black women in that black sector, y'all. Okay. So we just don't ignore Philly hood. You know what I'm saying? Philly hood probably sells drugs. I know that if I was a witch growing up, if I were practicing witchcraft while growing up, if I were actually practicing growing up, by the time I was a teenager, I would have been figured out, hey, I'm gonna send back all this negativity to the drug dealer. Yeah, Philly hood, don't that just sound like the account of a drug dealer? We gonna send all your drugs back to you, hun, all your bad energy. Quit selling poison to your community. Okay? Don't get mad at me. And please believe that Santa Martha don't just protect you, she protects me. I will call the Santa Martha. Okay? Don't get me started now. He's mad because I'm talking about a sensitive topic, and Philly Hood is feeling bad because he probably is a drug dealer. If you're a drug dealer and you're watching this, hey, you ruin lives of people that don't even do drugs. You ruin people's lives. Yeah. Just because you too damn lazy to be a creator. You thought you was being creative cooking up drugs and selling them, but you wasn't. You was just breaking bad. And we're all protected from you. There is no war on women because we know that you went and segued yourself into the trafficking industry, and something convinced you that it was okay to do that too. So we know what we're up against. Trust me, you ain't got to make yourself known, hun. We know your evil is there. Why you so proud of it? Especially over here. I will blank you. You don't have no power over here, hun. Okay? We're having an adult metaphysical spiritual conversation. You know, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Y'all need to not that y'all need to disclose it to me, but I think that if you come to me as a client, it is important for you to let me know if drugs have touched your life at all. Because and that's why do y'all think, look around you, why do y'all think that they say that the criminals are running the states? Why you think they say that? It's a problem. We're going to have to take back our streets. We're going to take back our lives. We're going to take it back. And it's nothing they can do about it. They want to turn this world into a war-torn third world country, and they're not going to be able to do it. So you can come in here. Don't come in here and confront me. And you ain't got no magic. Cooking up drugs and doing drugs don't give you magic. Okay? Yeah, they crazy, Stefan. They crazy. They don't like that because these are thugs that we talking about. These are thugs that, would rob an old lady of her social security check. So am I supposed to be shocked that you're constantly harassing me? Am I supposed to be scared? I don't know what to tell these people. Anyway. So yeah, um tell them, Stefan, don't come back over here with that nonsense. Exactly. Exactly. If your parent did drugs in your youth, it's a spiritual thing. Drugs are very connected to the spirit realm. Okay? Drugs. Pharmakia. Neptune has a lot to do with addictions. Okay? The planet Neptune. And I was sitting there yesterday and I was wondering why it seems like, because I have two Pisces children, it seems like my Pisces children was always a target. Jacob is a Pisces, and then Deja is a Pisces. It's weird. But, mm-hmm. So that's one of the things we're gonna be doing. All of us are being affected by the drug war. All of us. So that's what makes this circle that we're doing with Maybon so special. Now, what are these people gonna do? Are they gonna or are they gonna invade me? Am I gonna get shot and killed by drug dealers? No, they not, because my spirits, they do defile gravity. My spirits can literally move people around. So, it's not fair that we would have to be affected because people don't know how to be creative. Okay. It's not fair that we have to be affected. Nobody should have to be affected by anybody else's negative karma. And of course, we have criminals that are going to church that are praying that somebody else dies for their sins. And that's not right either. Okay. So the only way we can do right by ourselves is showing them that, right is right is right and wrong is wrong. And that's a fact. Okay. And it's nothing that they can do about it. It's absolutely nothing. They can run around here. They can try to intimidate people. At the end of the day, High Priestess Jamila and other high priestesses like myself are going to do our job. And keep in mind, it's only a major arcana to them because that's what they depend on for their money. I don't depend on drugs, selling drugs, or buying drugs for my money. Okay, I work as I am a high priestess that knows what the hell I'm talking about and knows what I'm doing. Okay? And yes, I will call to all kind of laws of karma, laws of gravity, laws of the universe, the demons. Yes, I will. What, you want me to be stupid? You want me to sit out here with a stupid face on my face? So we're gonna be first thing we're gonna do when we get the circle together is we're gonna have big jars and bowls of just salty ass water. Like I'm like we're gonna have pounds of damn salt. Kind of like, we're gonna recreate sea salt. You know what I'm saying? And but just with rock salt and stuff because it's gonna be a huge cleansing thing. And of course, I'll have the big, big, big mason jars because I'm going to be traveling with that stuff to make sure that, because it is very dangerous. People in their pursuit of money while being stupid are very dangerous. We're talking about drugs here. We live on an abundant earth. Could it have been possibly something else that you could have thought of except for creating a very addictive drug that screwed up a bunch of people's lives? Listen, the blood of the children that have been lost is on y'all hands. The blood is on y'all hands. So y'all need to quit bothering High Priestess Jamila. I'm gonna do my job whether or not you like it or not. And we don't have to be worried about you because my spirits are crawling this earth and they're probably sitting right there amongst you. There's probably hundreds of them sitting there. And literally, if you were to decide I'm going to do something to her, they would literally be like, sit your ass down. So it's safe, y'all, because they got us all terrorized. It's almost like, and they tried to infiltrate the spiritual community. Fuck you. Y'all act like this is y'all Nino Brown and this is the Carter. No, it's not. It's not. Those of us that are smart and awoken to what the fucking and you don't even understand. Like we have a deeper understanding of it than you do. Some of the victims that did drugs even understand deeper than you do. You just a lazy ass person that decided that you wanted to ruin the lives of many communities by selling drugs. So please believe that Santa Muerta is your God. Santa Muerta is my protector. She will literally make sure, like literally, it is what it is. You're no threat over here ever. I want you to know that you ain't gonna touch nothing over here. Okay? I'm just telling you. Because everybody right now, you want to know why the economy is bad? You want to know why stuff is messed up? Because of the drug world. That's why. Drug dealers don't care. They angry, very evil, diabolical people. If they could have everybody on this earth addicted to drugs, they would. They would. They would have everybody addicted to drugs. Okay, so let me just say this real quick. Um, First of all, I'm not going to do any dealings within that black sector. I don't do that. So I don't conjure up no spirits of that black sector. I don't have anything to do with whatever y'all doing. Okay. I have no interest in doing that. In fact, if we're at the end of the cycle of this little debacle between me and Bum Dot. Bum Dot gotta go. He gotta, his memory and everything he did won't be remembered. He's done. Okay. I don't want nothing to do with that. Okay. All right. Anyway. So yeah, that's what we're starting today. So make sure that you guys, I know that we got a lot of fray in here, that I've listen, I'm a threat. I get it. I'm a threat to somebody that probably, hell, you never know, it might be a Colombian drug lord or something. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. I don't know why you would be messing with witches anyway. It kind of reminds me of that movie Speed, where Keanu Reeves went on the bus because he was trying to stop the bomb. And that dude was like, The y'all remember that Mexican dude that was on there? He was like, he pulled out the gun on Keanu Reeves, who was there to save the day, and Keanu was like, "Hey, listen, I don't know nothing about your crime, but I'm here to save the this bus is gonna blow up." And he kept telling them, "Stop the bus, stop the bus." And he was like, he can't stop the bus because, you know, if the bus went under the under the limit that the dude set the bomb, the shit was gonna blow up. So that's how y'all kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is bigger than you. It always has been. Y'all wanted to, yeah, but I do get it. I do get it. I was a definite direct adversary of the stuff that y'all been up to, and I think that y'all took one good look at me and y'all thought I was fucking weak. Y'all didn't see hell behind me, did you? You didn't see all that damn shit that was gonna come up and run up on you behind me. Okay, what you messing with me? Because you know what? In order for us to have peace, we gonna have to conjure hell. That's what I'm conjuring. I ain't conjuring up no spirit of somebody that was in that sector. Like, no, thank you. Not doing that. Um, Anywho. So we're starting on that, like I said, with that salty water, very salty water, and you know, and just getting things cleared out because I know that they want these people, they are very much at attention. And my spirits has already said that if you try to stop our money, anybody that's trying to block my money is gonna have to die. Because basically you're trying to bring famine, and then also you're trying to bring on people to not get their spiritual work. So you're gonna die if you make any attempt to block my money, to block my blessings. You're gonna spirit is gonna choose me over you. Spirit is gonna choose my kids over you. It just is what it is, and my grandkids and my people that come to me. So we are always chosen above you. That's a fact. Because you don't do nothing but contribute bullshit to the world, and they don't like your shit. They don't like your bullshit. Okay, so let's just get that out of the fucking way. Okay? Before we're homeless and die out on the streets or starve to death or some shit like that. Because one of them from that sector called me. It was Miss L. Talking about, you're gonna starve. I was like, she must be ready to die. I'm sorry. You gotta get off of that shit and get on somewhere because you are not important in the grand scheme of things. You're not. And Mother Earth does not like you. That's a fact. She don't like what you're doing on her earth to her people. She don't like it. So, you know, that's just what it is. Anyway, and they ready to kill the whole consciousness of that sector because y'all are annoying. People in general do not like y'all. When y'all go live, any of y'all that's connected to that, y'all think that it's your targets that you're fighting with. You're fighting with so many people that are watching and praying against you. Y'all think that people like watching y'all. Those people really don't like y'all at all. They are tired of y'all. Nobody likes y'all. And you know what? It's not just my responsibility to get rid of y'all consciousness because it's literally like you've never seen anything like it before, ever. It's like it's like a no. It's like an automatic no, that sector. It's weird that y'all are even in social media. It's weird. I'm just telling y'all the truth about it. People are tired of it. People want to hear things that are useful. And then, you know, you can't say, well, this is my right as a black person. It ain't got nothing to do with being black. Don't have nothing to do with being, quit trying to play the black card to keep fucking up. Okay. All right. Now, and your mamas too. And just on a footnote, your mamas too, because your mamas raised you to just be a terrorizer to the damn world for whatever reason that she did it. And we don't like that either. So your mamas are gonna get it too. Cause y'all doing too much. And y'all knew who y'all was messing with when y'all started messing with me because y'all know that I'm one of the chosen ones. But I'm not chosen for what you think that being a chosen one is about. I'm chosen for something greater. So you need to really, really, really back the fuck up because everybody in this world ain't abandoned their children. Everybody in this world ain't gave up on hope. And I'm sorry, y'all hope was not actually sorry. I'm not even going to say that. Y'all idea of hope was not actually hope. Y'all wanted hope that y'all could cause destruction and y'all can't. So, and you know what? I'm in good company and you will be slaughtered. You will if you continue. That's just a fact. A lot of people want to live their life. They want to see their future generations. They want to see that y'all don't want that. I know, I get it. You said fuck your kids. I get it. The consciousness of your sector is fuck your kids and fuck everything. Okay. Well, then you do that alone. You do that alone. Go do that by yourself. You can't afflict us. Don't nobody care about your goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. Okay. All right. So we're gonna be doing that, and I gotta go, y'all, because I gotta follow up with a couple of people that were asking me to give them more details about Maybon. And so I'll see y'all later. I just wanted to come and have that quick discussion about drug demons and drug spirits and drug karma. The karma of a drug addict. And I'm gonna tell you something. If you are a drug addict and you're trying to do spiritual work to put all of your shit on someone else, well, that's wrong. First of all, because that drug is still destroying your body. Okay, because that's not how you're really gonna heal from that situation. And you need to go ahead and hit rock bottom. People when they're kids don't need to be out in the street homeless because you're afraid of hitting rock bottom and you're oversaturated with this so-called fake false pride, and you're going to try to take away from others because of the bad decisions and choices that you made. Me and my children are not going to starve to death or be murdered or go through a bunch of shit, and be held up because you decided to smoke drugs. But that's like let's just make that perfectly clear. And then also, I ain't got to start from the bottom. All I got to do is grow. If you don't like it, too bad. All right. So y'all contact me and ask me about the karma clearing group that we're doing. Just FYI, the black sector, I know that they tried to make it seem like they can intercept my clientele, but they can't. That's a fact. That's what I got my cauldron here for. That she protects us against that. So they lie a lot. They try to make it seem like we all up in there. That's why they complain. That's why they complain constantly because they're constantly trying to be in other people's energy. But then when they run, that's why that's dangerous. It is very dangerous. Listen, I know a lot of witches, and I would never try to interfere into their inner workings unless I was doing it for a client and it was required because they were attacking the client and we had work to do. But just to be randomly attacking people, like, you are out of your mind. That's why when you go in spirit, you get attacked and then you come and cry about it. Quit crying about it. Stay up out of people's business. and mind the business that pays you. But unfortunately, if the business that pays you impedes too much and messes with the balance of our reality, that's got to stop. You got to let it go. That's just like y'all wanted to stalk somebody for 59,000 years because they ended friendships with you. Or you wanted to latch onto people's energy. Go latch onto the sun. Stop ignoring the sun that rises every day. Too bad. Too bad. No, I wanted to do it that way. You're not going to be allowed to. Too bad. Goodness gracious. And it's more of them out there like that, y'all. Trust me, it ain't just them. It's more of them out there that are like that. Trust me on that. Okay. And there's a spirit that I got a call it's a healing spirit that helps with people's kidneys and stuff that y'all do bothers people's kidneys and stuff. So we're gonna have a lot of different things popping so that we can make sure that we are actually doing some stuff to protect people from people like that. Okay. So yeah, I'm about to hop in the shower. I'll see y'all later. Okay. All right. Have a good one. Bye.